Hey guys, welcome. Hello, this is day 3 of the Simple Dinner Strategies Challenge, and today we're doing a little bit of Q&A, and I'm going to show you my favorite slow cooker meal prep technique. So if this is your first time joining the dinner challenge and you're new to me, hi, I'm Katie Haynes. I'm an integrative nutrition health coach and founder of the Happy Body Collective, and let's just dive in. Hey, if you're watching live, say hello, tell me where you're watching from, and if you have any questions, then this is your time to put them in the comments. So if you are, hey guys, hello, if you have watched the meal prep workshop and watched the meal planning and you're thinking like, how is this gonna work for me, then ask away. I'm here to help. Okay. So I'm going to get started with showing you this meal prep, and as we go along, I'm going to share some of the questions that I had emailed in to me. A few people emailed some questions who weren't going to be able to be here live, okay? So what I'm making today is a slow cooker whole roasted chicken. It is like a total game changer if you're going to be home. I say if you're going to be home because you need to... and make sure this is up all the way to sound, sorry. Yeah. You need to be able to leave it on high for just a few hours. I have read that you can cook it on low after it's on high for an hour for food safety issues, but I just like to cook it on high and avoid any potential food safety issues. And it's great. It turns out really well, soft and tender, and then you can have that for your dinner the night that you make it, or you can use the leftover chicken in different ways. And tomorrow I'm going to show you one way to reuse the leftover chicken. But today we're going to make the chicken. So this slow cooker whole chicken, I like doing this better in the slow cooker than I do the oven because it seems to contain the mess. I find roasted chicken kind of messy in terms of the oil that it spits out into the oven. But slow cooker ones kind of contain everything, but they do take longer. If you just want to roast a chicken in your oven, that's much faster, obviously. Okay, I can get this lid off. There we go. So my slow cooker is pretty small and it's pretty old, to be honest. It gets the job done. But if you have a larger slow cooker, you can cook up a larger chicken. I get small chickens because they will fit in here. Okay. So first things first, you want to build a little bit of a rack for the chicken to sit on. Now, of course, you could do this with veggies or something, but I just made these little tin foil balls that I'm going to put in the bottom. You could also do like a tin foil oval or circle, whatever the shape of your pan is. Okay, and that is just so the chicken is not sitting on the floor of the crock pot in its own juices the whole time. It is kind of elevated. All right, so that's set. I'm gonna grab, actually I'm not gonna grab my chicken yet. I'm going to make the spice seasoning that goes on top. So this is really simple. And of course, you could just buy a rotisserie chicken at the grocery store, but you know, this way you can control the ingredients and you can control what's going into it and how much salt you're using. Okay, so I'm going to start with smoked paprika. I'm going to do 2 teaspoons. If you've never done smoked... I just spilled a lot. You can see that, can't you? Woo! That is why I do it into a bowl first. All right, well, I'm just going to eyeball it. That looks to be about 1 plus the amount that I have. So I'm going to go with that. That's about 2 teaspoons. If you've never tried smoked paprika, it has a really nice smoky flavor. If you're not sure you like it, or if you can't find it, or you don't have it, you can totally use regular paprika. And then I'm going to do a teaspoon each of onion powder and garlic powder. And then once I put this in the crock pot, I'm just going to sprinkle it on top, on both sides actually, of the chicken. And then we'll put the crock pot on high, and we're going to cook it for anywhere from 4 to 5 hours. This is definitely where we're doing 1 teaspoon of thyme. This is definitely where a thermometer comes in hand, a meat thermometer, because then you can just test the thickest part of the chicken and make sure it's done without having to guess and worry about whether it's done or not. And then I'm going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. This is really just for color, and turmeric is also a really great anti-inflammatory. So we are going to use that wherever we can. I just get my turmeric in the bulk section at the grocery store, and it's so much cheaper. If you can, always get your spices in bulk. You'll save money every time. Okay, salt and pepper. It's normally going to be 2 teaspoons of salt. I have big grain salt, so I'm using a little bit less. And about 1 teaspoon of pepper. That's it. And then just mix this up. And this is the spice mix that's going to go on our chicken. We're almost done. So I love this for the weekend. Hang on, I'm going to get my chicken. I love this for the weekend because I wear gloves. I'm not a huge fan. I was a vegetarian for 15 years, and gloves help me when I'm dealing with raw meat. But I love this for the weekend. Just put it on a Sunday when you're hanging out at home, and then you have all this cooked protein that you can use in different ways throughout the week. It is just such a time saver. Now, I don't do this every week. I don't do it every week. I do it just a couple times a month, really. Can you see? Yeah, you can see. I do it just a couple times a month. And that way we don't feel bored with it. And I don't feel like I have too much kind of chicken going on. All right, put a little bit more on here, put the lid on, take my gloves off, wash my hands, and then that's it. This is ridiculously simple. Now, if you're going to be serving this like a roasted chicken or like a rotisserie chicken, I'd recommend when this is finished cooking to put the chicken, hang on one sec, to put the chicken in the oven under the broiler for a few minutes until the skin starts to brown, so you get that nice look and skin texture at the end. If you're just going to take the skin off and use the meat for something else, then you can skip that step. So that's up to you, but remember that would come at the end. Just lift it out, put it on a baking tray, and then that's it. So let me move this and wash my hands quickly. Okay, then we'll put the lid on it and put it on high, and then let that cook. So that'll be good to go for dinner and then tonight, and then I'll show you what I'm gonna use the leftovers for tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow in your day 4 email, you guys are getting 10 different recipes to use leftover chicken, which is awesome. Okay, so let me move on. If you have any questions, then put them in the comments below. If you come back and you watch the replay and you have questions, then just use #replay and then put your question, and I'll come back and answer it. So one question, let me scroll up here. One email I got was from Michelle, and Michelle said, "Hey Katie, my trouble is when my husband travels for work. I work full-time at a pretty demanding job, and I have an 8-year-old who spends a lot of time at soccer and a 3-year-old. Nighttime is way too busy, but I somehow want to get better at all this. What ideas do you have for me? Thanks." Okay, Michelle. So first, wow, you are super busy, and I hope in all that madness that you are somehow able to carve out just a little teeny tiny bit of time for yourself and your own self-care. But in terms of dinner, when schedules are crazy, I have some ideas. So first, take small steps. So if you are getting a lot of takeout during the work week, and let's say maybe you're doing 3 or 4 nights of takeout, then for the first couple weeks that you try to make a change, just try to add in 1 day of cooking. All right, so don't go from 4 nights of takeout and try to replace that, swap that all with 4 nights of homemade meals. That is gonna feel like a burden and a stress, and it's gonna feel overwhelming, and then you'll quit. So we don't want that. So just start slowly with 1 meal at a time, and then the next week, keep that same meal and keep eating out. And then the week after that, try 2 meals and then take the other 2 out. Okay, so it's gonna be a slow, gradual process, but you'll get there. The second thing, when you do have time at night, so if it's a night where you get home and you do have 45 minutes or so to be able to quickly put some food on a sheet pan and put it in the oven to cook, then sheet pan meals are going to be your best friend, because you don't have to watch them. You just put a timer on, put it on the sheet pan, put it in the oven, put a timer on, and then you can go and help your kiddos with homework and do bath time and things like that while your food cooks. So sheet pan meals are going to be an awesome tool for you. You can think about using a slow cooker meal once a week. Just pull out your best meals. Just find 2. That's all you need, 2 slow cooker meals, and rotate them. So week A, week B, week A, week B. And use those slow cooker meals for nights where you're getting home late and you just need food like now, okay? Also, when your husband is away, then think about, the really good quality packaged food that's within your budget that you can get and keep in the freezer and keep in the pantry. There's nothing wrong with it. And just be sure you know what to look for in the ingredients list so that you're getting great quality, healthy, packaged, I call them the PPPs, packaged, prepared, and processed food. So just be sure you're getting good quality stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. And have that on hand so that when you're in a pinch or in a bind, or if you forgot to take the chicken out of the freezer, whatever it is, you can always serve those things. And then finally, when your husband gets back home, try to set aside a day where maybe he takes the kids and you do a couple of meals that can go in the freezer specifically for the next time that he travels. Or even better, if it's within your resources, hire a babysitter or send the kids to grandparents' house, and then you and your hubby can prep and freeze up some meals for the next time that he's away. He can help with the chopping or something, and it can be a nice little day date that you have. So put some of those into practice and let me know how it goes. And if you have more questions, you can always email me. Okay, and then I had another one from Patty. Patty said, I love healthy foods, but getting my kids on board is a huge struggle. And then she says a few other things, but that's the main question about getting the kids on board when you like to eat healthfully, but they don't necessarily. And isn't that a struggle for all parents? I know that there are kids that are not picky, but I know personally, I don't have one of those. My son is pretty picky, so I have had a lot of experience in trying to get him to widen the amount of foods that he'll eat. And also, I know what it feels like to make a nice meal and then they just won't eat it, and then you're trying to figure out what to do. So I have the picky eater thing is a bit of a process, but I have some quick ideas now that you might be able to start playing with. So first of all, always serve at least one thing at dinner that you know for sure that they're going to eat. Don't try and give them a dinner that you know for sure they're not going to eat, because that's not going to go over well for them. It's not going to go over well for you. You're going to feel like you're going to have to get up and get them something else to eat. So don't do that. What to do instead is serve the meal that you're going to make, but then serve some side dishes to go along with it that everybody eats, that you know that they're going to eat. So last night, if you remember in the workshop, I did a 3-week rotation. So I have that here, and I thought that I would just give you a couple of ideas, because this is the kind of stuff I do with my kiddo, and it works pretty well. So the night that I'm going to make harvest veggie soup, well, he may eat that, he may or may not. He may eat just a little bit, not enough to really fill his belly. So I will serve grilled cheese for him and salad for me. So he'll do grilled cheese, raw veggies, and the harvest veggie soup, and then that'll be enough. On a night when I do the slow cooker barbecue chicken, I'm still trying to get him on board with this one. So what I do is I try to think about things that would go with that kind of meal. So obviously he'll get some coleslaw with it. He'll get the chicken, the barbecue chicken, and then he'll get a roll. And so he'll eat the roll. He might eat the coleslaw. He might try a bit of chicken. But then I try to think about other things that would go with the meal that I can serve alongside. So I might serve some extra veggies. I might serve some extra cheese. I might serve a salad. So there are things that can kind of go with that meal. But it's not me serving a totally different meal. Does that make sense? And then within the week, hey, if you're just joining, we're talking about getting picky kids to eat healthfully. Let's see. Somebody had asked this question. So always have a few meals within the week that you know that they're going to like. So if you are planning 5 meals a week, then have at least 2 that you know, like, oh, they're going to eat this, or at least a big portion of it, like a side dish or something. Oh, for sure, they're going to eat. That will save you. It'll make it less struggles throughout the week. Give small portions of new foods. Don't give them like an adult size portion or even a kid size portion. If it's brand new to them, just give them a bite. That is much less intimidating than a whole huge adult size portion. Give them fun tools to use. So if you have a younger kid, this works better, but there's all kinds of fun little food picks and chopsticks and things that don't take extra time for you to put together. You know, you don't have to cut out shapes. You can if you want, but there are really easy tools that you can give them just to kind of keep things fun and interesting. And then if you are concerned about them getting the calories that they need at dinner and they're not eating the dinner, then try to pack their day full of calories in other spots. So have a really nutrient-dense lunch that you know they're going to eat. Save for after dinner, like a nutrient-dense smoothie that's going to fill their belly before they go to bed and give them more nutrients. But it doesn't set up the cycle of you making a separate meal for them at dinner. Okay? So I hope those help. Like I said at the beginning, picky eating is like a process to work through. It doesn't happen overnight by any stretch. You just got to keep putting the foods on their plate with a few of the strategies that I talked about, and just keep going. Keep at it. Don't give up. But it is a challenge for sure. Okay, and then I had several people email in and ask about just time. Like, I really feel like I don't have time to do all this stuff. What are your suggestions when you're really tight on time? So first, make sure you've watched last night's workshop on meal planning, and really the meal prep one too from Monday night, but Tuesday night's meal planning workshop, because in that workshop I talk about 2 key ideas that will absolutely save you time week to week. Okay, so in terms of your meal planning, there are 2 things in there that will totally save you time, and also make it feel easier and lighter and just like, check, that's done. When you're think for weekday recipes, when you have less time, or whenever it is that you have less time, think simple recipes. Okay, weekday recipes equals simple recipes. Keep it simple, like really, really simple. And then on the weekend when you have more time, you can prep something bigger, you can put stuff in the freezer, you can do different things. But when you're in the middle of those busy weeks, those busy nights, then just keep it simple. And then finally, look into grocery pickup and grocery delivery. So I started giving this suggestion 2 or 3 years ago when grocery pickup and grocery delivery was like brand new. And it seemed like such a luxury and it was hard to find. And now it's amazing because like so many grocery stores are doing this, and Amazon does it, and then there's Instacart, and there's just a lot of options for getting a hand in that way. So if you don't already do delivery or pickup, I would suggest giving it a try, because it does help save money. A lot of people feel like it helps them save money because they're able to stick right to their list. They can see what's on sale and make decisions without a screaming toddler in the grocery cart, right? Or without a kid asking for Matchbox cars like my kiddo does. So you can kind of select your items in peace and quiet, and you're also not doing the impulse buys. So it saves money in that way. And it does feel so light and indulgent when you just drive to the grocery store and dial a number, and then your groceries are brought out to you, or when you have them delivered to your door. It feels just like such a burden lifted sometimes. So if you are very busy, then consider giving yourself that gift. And keep in mind that grocery pickup is typically only $2.50 to $3. It's pretty inexpensive, and it's less expensive than the delivery often is. So keep those things in mind so that you can save time on that side of things, and maybe have use that time that you would normally spend at the grocery store on some other meal prep and meal planning and cooking activities. Okay? So again, if you watch the replay and you have questions, then use #replay in the comments and ask away. I am here to help. So this is day 3 of our Simple Dinner Strategies Challenge. Tomorrow, day 4, I'm going to show you what to do with leftover chicken, leftover rotisserie chicken, leftover roasted chicken. You're going to be getting a PDF little recipe guide for 10 ways to use leftover chicken. Super helpful. So you'll be getting that in your email tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. And thank you so much for watching and for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.